The first time I saw my son's lifeless form sprawled across our driveway, I realized the biggest threat to our family wasn't a wildfire or drought. It was our own HOA turning into a rogue militia. Before we dive in, comment below which country you're watching from so I know just how far this story has traveled. All right, let's get into it. I'd stepped inside to fetch lemonade when I heard the crash of a car door and harsh, guttural commands I didn't recognize. Heart pounding, I burst back into the moonlit yard to find three men in dark navy polos, stamped Cedar Ridge OA Patrol, their faces hidden beneath federal-style baseball caps. They flanked my 10-year-old Lucas, who lay curled amid shattered glass from our decorative pavers. "Stay back!" I roared. But before I could reach him, the tallest thug, a stocky man with a gravelly voice, yanked Lucas upright by the collar. His partner swung a telescoping baton at Lucas's chest. I heard the snap of cartilage as the boy crumpled. The third man slammed Lucas's forearm into the curb. A sickening crack echoed through the still night. Blood seeped through Lucas's white shirt as he teetered. The ringleader barked, "He's trespassed one too many times. Community standards aren't optional." Their badge gleamed like costume jewelry in my shaking flashlight beam. I dropped to my knees beside Lucas. His eyes fluttered. His wrist dangled oddly, ribs heaved painfully. I recognized every threat they wielded was illegal. Under California Civil Code Par 4600, HOAs may issue violation notices, not constitute a private army. Penal Code Par 538D punishes impersonating an officer, and our CC&Rs, recorded with the county recorder, explicitly forbid private patrols or unlicensed enforcement. "Let him go," I screamed. One thug shoved me back with the butt of his baton. Lucas gasped. I raged. They laughed and backed toward their unmarked van. Then, as they tried to tow him inside, I grabbed their leader's arm and ripped the badge off his shirt, exposing a $1.29 official decal beneath. They snarled and fled down Cedar Ridge Lane, leaving me cradling my son. By the time I dialed 911, Lucas had gone limp. Paramedics arrived in minutes. I rode shotgun as they loaded him into the ambulance. In that siren's wail, I realized our quiet cul-de-sac had become a lawless battlefield. That night, beneath the flicker of emergency lights, I vowed I wouldn't rest until those three men answered for every bone they broke and every statute they violated. I spent the next 24 hours in a blur of hospital corridors and police interviews. Lucas lay sedated in an arm sling and chest binder, 3 broken ribs, a fractured radius, and a shattered ulna. I pressed his doctor for updates. Each crack was gruesome, each fracture a roadmap of cruelty. Detective Marquez of the county sheriff's office treated my case with rare seriousness. Under Penal Code, Par 245A-1, assault with a deadly weapon carried a potential life sentence. Impersonating an officer under Par 538D added more weight. But he needed proof, names, dates, and the HOA's own rules that they'd flagrantly bypassed. Back home, I scoured our governing documents. Article 7 of the CC&Rs mandated any enforcement action must begin with a written violation notice, a 30-day cure period, and a homeowner vote of at least 67%. There was no EO Midnight Patrol Committee anywhere in our bylaws. I contacted my family's attorney, Victoria Lang, a fourth-generation litigator. Within hours, she subpoenaed the HOA's meeting minutes. What we unearthed was explosive. 3 backdated resolutions, each signed by the HOA president, Madeline Cross, and the treasurer, Hugo Sinclair, claiming emergency security measures were approved on February 29th, an impossible date. Their patrol fund never passed a budget vote, violating Civil Code Par 5500's transparency requirements. Every signature was forged, every resolution a sham. Meanwhile, the sheriff's team ran license plate records from the van that fled the scene. It traced back to a storage locker rented under the alias Cedar Ridge Properties LLC, whose sole member was Madeline's brother, Trevor Cross. A keys for keys search turned up the 3 Navy polos, saps, and counterfeit badges in that locker. I documented every violation: forged HOA actions, Civil Code Par 4820, illegal use of force, Penal Code Par 245, impersonation, like 5538D, and conspiracy, Penal Code Par 182. By dawn on day 3, Detective Marquez had enough probable cause to arrest Madeline, Hugo, and Trevor. Each was booked on felony counts, each carrying up to 12 years behind bars. As Lucas rested, I realized how fragile safety can be when private power goes unchecked. My father's old mantra echoed, "The law is the great equalizer." I would witness not only the arrest of 3 men, but a legal precedent ensuring no HOA could ever again claim the right to break bones in the dead of night. Courtroom morning dawned crisp and clear. Lucas, now in a cast and still scuffed from the attack, perched on the front row beside me. Across the aisle sat Madeline Cross, coiffed and defiant, Hugo Sinclair, nervously tapping his pen, and Trevor Cross, hooded and pale. Deputy District Attorney Alvarez laid out the case with laser focus. Surveillance footage, forensic baton tip matches to Lucas's injuries, the fake resolutions, and the patrol fund forged signatures. Under Civil Code FAR 5830, HOA directors breach their fiduciary duty when they misuse community funds. Penal charges for willful cruelty followed. Madeline's defense tried to spin community safety, but Penal Code CARF 245 left no room for nuance. Using a deadly weapon on a child was unforgivable. The jury, composed of our neighbors, many horrified by the midnight ambush, listened in rapt silence. After 3 hours of deliberation, they returned, guilty on all counts. The judge, in a stern voice, cited the need to deter private militias. You are hereby sentenced to 15 years, 10 years, and 8 years in state prison, respectively. No one, not even an HOA director, stands above the law. Lucas hugged me with his uninjured arm as Madeline, Hugo, and Trevor were led away in handcuffs. Outside, neighbors who once whispered resentfully now offered apologies and support. The HOA's board, a body that once claimed carte blanche, was dissolved. A court-appointed trustee took over, ensuring compliance with the Davis-Sterling Act and our CC&Rs. As Lucas and I walked back to our farm that evening, the sun setting behind the silos, I realized that true community isn't enforced by clubs in the night. It's upheld by laws that protect the vulnerable, even against those who claim to protect us. And in our family, for 3 generations, that truth will never be forgotten. The end.